Hello everyone, Barb here from barbaderholt.closetomyheart.com. Today we are going to make this. This is I call it a pop-up box. Some people call it an explosion box. But this is what we are creating. And I have a couple more examples. This is a bit of a Frankenstein video I've already recorded putting this together, but I wanted to do an intro showing the actual box. I do talk a little bit about cardstock and things that I used. Some of these are Cricut cuts. A lot of these are thin cuts. The balloons are Cricut cuts. The scales are a Cricut cut, but a lot of the other cuts are Close to My Heart thin cuts. The paper is all from Close to My Heart, and the little gems that I used on here, the little enamel dots, don't know where those are, if we even still sell them. I just think they're pretty. So I'm going to set that there and just do a quick little run through of some of the thin cuts that I used. I used our stitched hearts. I used the star shaker. I used the rectangle shaker stitched, and I used this scalloped circle. I know that is no longer available. Then I got into my stash of stamps. Boy, words are hard. So I have this Defining You. These are no longer available, but I'm showing you this because I want you to remember that you have stamps. Go and dig through them and look and see what you can find. I love selling people new things. New things are great and they're exciting and they're fun. But don't forget the other stuff that you like too. Go look through those stamp sets. So anyway, Defining You, I just loved these little phrases. This was a craft with heart. This was the May through August of 2020. Really, really neat stuff on here. So I can't recommend Craft with Heart enough, even if it's to get these great exclusive stamp sets. I also have this one. This one I don't remember when this was from, but again, great sentiments, little sentiments, excellent. Then I have this Happy Birthday song, which I love. I think that's just such a great fun set, meant to go with the waterfall thin cut set. The other thing I will say is in putting this together, in holding this, I did use some acetate. Acetate, you can buy acetate. You could use packaging that you get things in that have that stiff plastic. I used this. It's from my stash. We used to sell this at Close to My Heart. We don't anymore. But that's what I used to hold all of these little things. I glued them to the back of this. And you will see I didn't go crazy trying to camouflage the back. It doesn't bother me that it looks like that from the back. That's the way life is. I will probably do something on the back of this star because it's missing part of it. And I do have another one that I can put on there. But I can put some stuff on the back of here and I can zhuzh the back up as well. This is one that I made for my dad. And I don't have it super packed full of stuff. It's got some things in it, but it's not crazy overstuffed. And again, it does fold up. But I'll be hand delivering this. And I also made this another birthday one. This is for a very special person in my life who is turning 100 years old. Can you believe it? And she knows who I am, which is always a bonus. I've always said if I have to be old, I want to know who people are. So used butterflies and flowers and a lot of stuff from my stash. Just bright and cheery and sunny. So these are a lot of fun. Keep watching the video. I will hopefully piece it all together in a way that makes sense so that you can learn how to make these. I have a lot of bits and pieces and parts. I also have this little container full of stuff that I've pre-made. The first thing you have to do, you need 2 pieces. Ooh, another little star. We have 2 pieces of our black solid core cardstock. Solid core is awesome because when you tear it, it's black inside. Let's see if we can get that going here. You can see that. It doesn't have that white inside. We sell that cardstock. This is what it looks like. So if I tear it, you can see the difference. It has a white core. This is our traditional cardstock. This is a lighter weight, and then this is a little bit heavier. That's why I like to use it for card bases. So I have two pieces. They measure 9 by 12. And then I have another two pieces, and these actually, I think, came off of here somehow. They measure 1.5 by 9.5. So they're 1.5 inches tall, 9.5 inches long. Those are going to be a part of the inside. To begin, you have to do some scoring. So I'm going to bring in my handy dandy, oldie moldy, oh, let's get that out of the way, scoreboard from Stampin' Up! From 100 years ago. Okay, not 100 years ago. From, I would say 20 years ago. So here we go. You need, let's see if that'll focus, 2 9 by 12s, 2 of the 1.5 by 9.5s, and you score 7.5 and 11.5 on the landscape side, on the long side. I'm going to scooch this over so it's hopefully in the middle. So let's do that. We want to score at 7.5. And if you don't have a scoreboard, you can use your paper trimmer. You just have to be delicate. And then we want 11.5. So 7.5, 11.5, and then we're going to whiz it so that we're portrait side. So the shorter side is butted up to the top. And here you score at 3 inches. And on this first one, we're going to go the whole way, just like that. Second one starts out the same. Landscape side, 7.5, 11.5. Then we're going to whiz it again, but we are only going to score at the 3-inch mark down to this second score line. So we're going to stop right here. That leaves this whole panel without a score line in it, and this will be our back panel. And you'll see why that works out for the best. It only took me making this several times to figure that out. And we have these two little 1-inch strips, and we score these at 1 inch from each end. I just do it this way because it's easier for me. But you could, if you wanted to, score it here and then score it at 8.5 if that works for you. But I just like to flip it around and score it. Then I know it's the same. We have our pieces scored. Now I want to show you how to assemble the, I guess I'll call it a card carcass. So I'm going to start with one of the panels, one of the large panels. Using a bone folder, that really helps to give that crease a nice crisp edge, which makes your box a lot sharper. So I'm folding over all those score lines and using my bone folder to burnish those to make those nice and crisp. Let's do this one. This one we only have, these two long ones. And then I'll show you how I'm going to handle that other one. We're going to do our trimming. So before I do that, I'm going to get these bad boys done too. We have everything pretty much burnished and ready for assembly. This is a Teflon bone folder that I got on Amazon. I really like it. So here on the piece of 9 by 12 that has this plain panel in the back, we need to trim away, and I'm just using my little scissors. If you want to use a trimmer, you can do that, whatever works. You're just cutting up to that score line. Here on this tiny flap, we're going to cut a little angle cut there, And we're going to cut away this whole bit right here, this little 1/2 inch, because we don't need that. You can see I'm a little wonky, but that's okay. It'll all work out. Then I am going to cut a little wedge at the bottom just to remove some bulk. So we've got that like that, but now this panel is free. We can now fold it and burnish it. Then on this one, very similar, we need to, in fact, it's identical. Cut down to that first score line, just like that. Then here we are going to again angle cut and cut away this little tab. And I am gonna trim that up a little bit, get rid of some bulk, and take a little wedge off the bottom, just like that. To put them together, I like to use glue. Not everyone likes glue. You can use score tape or tape runner, whatever you think works best for you. And I'm going to put glue. Ooh, we're really gushing today. Let's, yeah, how do we handle that? I am going to just rub it around a little bit just to smush it out and pick up some of the excess so I don't have a big gooey, gushy mess. So that should be fine. Ooh. And we're gonna line this piece up just like that. Give it a little rub so that that smooths out and it adheres. And then we'll do a little more gluing. Oh, this is better. Not so gushy. And then I'm just going to fold this over and it will line up. I'm trying to line up the bottom. And now you can see when I stand it up, these 3 flaps will fold down and you'll have that smooth, unscored back panel. I really like how that works out. Then I am going to go in here and attach these guys, and I'll show you my trick. Of course, I'm not ready for my trick. What the heck? Got glue on the end, glue on the other end, and what I'm going to do, I like to point these little flaps toward the back of the box. So you want to give yourself room, and I'm slipping it in, and I'm giving myself 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of space. Getting it in place, and I've got these little binders, and I'm just doing that. And I'm gonna do it on the other side. That will hold that in place so that that glue can dry. I find it starts to slide down if I don't use those little clamps. And here we go with the second one. And I'm just gonna center it-ish between that first one and the second one. Hopefully getting it lined up so that it's fairly straight. Ooh, excuse me. Frog in the throat. And again with the little binder clips. And you're trying to line up the top of this so that it's fairly level. Doesn't have to be perfect. And there you go. So that's what our box carcass looks like. You can see those. And now I will fast forward so that you can see how the box is assembled. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a blessed crafty day, and I'll see you next time.